Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I am following up on the filling of my pocket palette Demi that I plan to use as my summer sketching kit in the Art Toolkit pocket case. So I've basically filled this up a couple of days ago and thought it would dry overnight, but it took quite a bit longer. So I think I filled this up on Wednesday and it's now Sunday morning. All of the Daniel Smith colours dried absolutely fine and quite quickly. However, the Jackson's colours, which I think is the ultramarine blue here and the lemon yellow, were both took quite a while to dry. They're still quite tacky to touch and I've got my fingerprints in them, but they're fine. They're good enough to get on with this today. So yes, that's just a reminder of the kit I'm putting together. This is the fourth video I've been making on this whole series, so you can see I'll link in the description below the previous videos I've made where I've kind of shown the sort of reasoning behind this colour selection and also what I plan to use this kit for over the summer. So right, let's crack on. So I've prepared a little bit of a swatching template here, so I'm going to just swatch each of the colours out. I've put a big broad black line over just to sort of show what the transparency is like, and then I plan to mix them. I've made up a little chart in here, so I'll just kind of put each colour down and then I will mix each colour together to show you how they might be. So first of all, I'm going to fill out actually this little pocket, this little card, which will be, I'll keep in here. I might try and laminate it if I can find my laminator, and then I'll know what each colour kind of looks like. So let's crack on with that. So I did also change the layout around. That's what I love about these, because they're magnetic, you can kind of swap them in and out. Someone really kindly suggested in a comment in a previous video that I could in fact kind of have a few of these and then just swap them in and out. So if I had other paints that I'm not using regularly or want to experiment with, you know, I could fill up a few pounds of these, because I do have some spares, and you can buy additional ones on the Pocket Palette website, and then I can just swap them in and out, which would be kind of fun, I think, and a great way to use up the kind of leftovers that are often in a tube that wouldn't be enough to fill a full pan or a half pan, for instance. So okay, I've got a little scrap of cloth here to dry my brush, so let's go. This is the Jackson's lemon yellow. What might have helped is if I just wet them, but just to activate them, but it doesn't matter too much. This is just a really quick, gosh, that's such a lovely vibrant colour, isn't it? Oh, trying to remember, that's the clear one. And then this is the, sorry, that was Daniel Smith Quin Rose, Jackson's lemon yellow, and now this is Daniel Smith's Cerulean blue chromium. And just as a reminder, if you haven't seen my previous videos, I've got 3 cool primaries down this side and 3 warm primaries down this side, sort of slightly more earthy tones, and then I've got a couple of convenience colours here just because there was room in the palette. This is Daniel Smith's Shadow Violet and this is Daniel Smith's Undersea Green, and then I have my extra mixing pan here. Okay, so that is the cool primaries. They look a pretty classic set there. And then this is Monte Amiata Natural Sienna, Daniel Smith again. And this is a lovely warm yellow. I've not used this paint before. This is a new paint. As is this. This is Daniel Smith's transparent red oxide. The closest I've got to this would be something like a burnt sienna. And then finally, this is another Jackson's colour. French ultramarine blue. It's lovely rich pigment. Okay, so that is those. And then this is Daniel Smith's Shadow Violet. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? And finally, Undersea green, another Daniel Smith colour. Oh my word. Oh, I love that. That is such a lovely green. Wow. You can see me using that a lot. Okay, so that is my little swatch reference for the palette. I'm just going to pop that somewhere where it won't blow away. I'm filming outside because the light is much better out here than in my house, but it is a bit windy today, so forgive me if you have got some background noise. Okay, right, we're just going to repeat that really. So these should be a bit wetter now, so I'm just going to try and do just try and lift that a little bit. Okay, and then Quinacridone. So what I was trying to do, what I was thinking of doing is just kind of doing that so it kind of ran down. So I get a kind of sense of what it's like full and then how far it will go. So it's much of a test of the brush as anything. So as you can see, they are all beautifully transparent. Okay, onto the warms. This is the Monte Amiata Natural Sienna. And the transparent red oxide, living up to its name. And the French Ultramarine by Jackson's. This is, you can see, I don't know if your camera's picking that up, but it's still quite squishy. Okay, this brush doesn't hold a huge amount of water. This is Jackson's watercolor block, hot press. Okay, let's see the shadow violet. I'd actually quite like to pick up a fair bit of pigment on this and then see. That is rather lovely. I've used Payne's Grey for a long time and just fancied a bit of a change. So let's get this Undersea green. I love this colour, this is gorgeous. Okay, so they are all transparent. And I think, I don't know about you, I think those make a really nice set of colours. Okay, so I'm going to let those dry. Okay, I'm back. I've got an extra mixing palette here just to give me a bit more space for mixing these colours. But first off, I'm just going to go straight in and do them neat. This is a really great way to get to know your colours a little bit. A simple swatching session can be a really worthwhile thing to do. Just got to make sure I'm getting the right colour here. Then transparent red oxide. And finally, Daniel Smith, Monte Amiata, Sienna. Can't seem to see that, but there we go. All right, now the first one will be a mixture between lemon yellow and Quinacridone. So I'm going to pop the yellow down first and then clean my brush. It's quite windy, apologies. Okay, that Quinacridone is quite strong. I might just try that with a slightly different dilution, but it does make a nice red. Getting the same thing, so let's just go with that. That is a lovely red. Okay, then we're going to have, maybe I'll just go down the left here, so I'll just keep going. So we're going to have lemon yellow and Daniel Smith Cerulean blue. And this is the green we get. Okay. then we're going to start mixing them with the warmer ones. Okay, so I got the lemon yellow and ultramarine blue. Much darker, a little bit darker. Okay, next lemon yellow. I'm going to move over here now, and transparent red oxide. Get quite a nice orange. It's almost like a Quin Gold. And then finally yellow and yellow. Let's need to activate this yellow a little bit. So just a bit of a warmer yellow. That's nice. Okay, so let's go with the Quin Gold. Quin Gold is one of my favourite colours, so I'm getting them confused. So now we're going to mix the Quin Rose with the Cerulean Blue. We should get a nice purple. Okay, and then we're going to mix the Quin Rose with the French Ultramarine. Which doesn't really give much of a difference. And okay, Quin Rose. Palette is moving around a little bit, sorry. Quin Rose with the transparent red oxide. So this is a little bit of red and red. And this gives, cool, it's a nice red. Okay, and then a bit of Quin Rose and the warm yellow. Okay, now for the ultramarine. Sorry, Daniel Smith Cerulean. Oh, getting fingerprints everywhere. The Cerulean Blue. Let's give this a little. Okay, so first of all with the blue, with the ultramarine. Okay, then with the transparent red oxide. Kind of grey brown, and then finally with the warm yellow. I feel like I'm not getting enough pigment. I'm sort of struggling to get that over there. Okay, let's start that one again. That is with the warm yellow, which is not activating. I need to get a bit more water in there. Okay, that's better. It's quite a nice muddy green. Okay, right, now for the French Ultramarine. That's going to be mixed now with the transparent red oxide. I think it could probably mix quite a nice grey with that if I put a bit more blue in, but that's nice. I like the way the colours are granulating. Okay, a bit more of that with the warm yellow. Let's see what we get here. Should get quite a nice earthy green. That's nice. And now the red oxide. A little bit of space there. With the warm yellow. Let's see what we get. Have we already mixed that? No. There we go. So that just gives me a little bit of a flavour of what these colours look like mixed, and I can see I've got some nice earthy greens here. I'm liking the oranges that we can get and the reds. This is possibly quite a nice May kind of green, and I think I haven't mixed these purples brilliantly, but you know, I can have another play with that. I might try and do some kind of colour wheel type experiments. So that is this palette, and this is how it compares to my pocket schminky palette that I also have, and I actually can get some rather lovely colours with that, but I think that's because there are more. What have we got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 colours, and this is simply 6, so it will be a smaller, lighter kind of palette to carry around. But I love how vibrant and bright these colours are, and I haven't even, you know, activated that particularly well. This has just been a bit quick, so I can get this in before lunch, and then get painting. And yes, this is some experiments I did before I ordered the Daniel Smith paints, so I've been having a lot of fun trying to put this palette together, and that is what we have. So yeah, this is the Pocket Palette Demi by Art Toolkit, and yeah, I can't wait to get out and about and try this in the real world. So my next video, I'm going to try and record me using this out and about maybe, or even just in the garden, but just painting from life, and seeing how it works in a real life scenario. So thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments if you have any comments on this particular selection of paints, what your favourite kind of travel setup is, whether you have the Demi, if you have any tips. Yeah, anything really. I would love to hear from you. So thanks very much, and I will see you in the next video.